From the Langford Communication Center at Newberry College, this is Wolves Weekly. I'm Paul C. Fisher. We have a very, very exciting interview today. Joining us in the studio is the Associate Athletic Director, as well as Senior Women Administrator, Ms. Hunter Perry. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing really good. We're excited to have you on. This is something we've been wanting for a few weeks now, so excited to actually make it happen.
Awesome.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us kind of your background and what brought you to Newberry.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I'm originally from Michigan, born and raised in Michigan, went to school in Michigan, started working in Michigan. And then 3 years ago, I decided to make a change. Kind of COVID happened and I was ready to move down south. So I applied for the job here at Newberry. I was looking kind of all over the place. And how I ended up at Newberry was there's a town called Newberry, where I'm from. And I thought, how hilarious is that? We'll just throw in an application. And then I came down and kind of just fell in love with the community and the school. And it's been a really, really good experience.
What a coincidence, though. That's really cool. So two different places, two different towns, both with the same name, Newberry. So hopefully maybe it feels a little bit more like home now, or it's starting to. But walk us a little bit through kind of your role and what the day-to-day looks like. But I think you kind of actually have two roles, right?
Yes, yeah, the day obviously it looks different every day, but, this time of year, we're really getting ready for sports. We've got basketball and wrestling, women's wrestling, and then kind of preparing for the spring, but it's really getting ready, making sure we've got scripts ready for the games, making sure we've got our promotions. We'll do fun things at half times, kind of that sort of thing, so I'm really responsible for the things that happen outside of the actual game, so.
Gotcha, but it's a lot
Mhm.
more having students engaged with the other students, maybe with athletics and things like that. Where do you feel you make the most impact in some of these students' lives?
Yeah, I think, the way I make the most impact is with my second role, which is a senior women administrator. I handle our student advisory committee, which is our SAC is what we call it. We've got 2 representatives from each of our sports, and that's where we get together, every couple of weeks and just talk about how we can better serve our student athletes in our campus community. So with that group, we've done like a life after sports panel. This year we did a life during sports panel, which was really geared to our freshmen, sophomores to make sure they're really understanding how to be successful, especially at Newberry College. So I would say that really, brings me a lot of joy in seeing that we can really make an impact.
Yeah. What does it mean to you to be able to kind of enter into that realm where in some cases you really are a mentor for some of these students or these student athletes? You mentioned something about life after being a college athlete. So what does it mean to you to kind of be able to step into that role?
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I was a student athlete back in the day, so I think to just be able to take my experiences and help other people is really, really cool. And there's so many different avenues that you can get into, and there's so many experiences that you can have. So I like to tell our students, you're a really good student athlete, but what are you going to do after? So are you going to I think something like this is an amazing experience, but getting internships, getting experiences outside of your field, I think is super important. So just kind of shedding light on there is a life after sport. Like you work hard for probably years and years and years, obviously not just in college, but kind of understanding that, if you want to continue down the sports world, we're not all going to be professional athletes, unfortunately, but you can work in sports or you can, take that next step and see what else is out there.
I get that, though. That's a really cool perspective that you hold. Thank you for that. Being a senior women's administrator, how do you feel and what do you think this means for the college bringing a women's wrestling program?
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's huge. I think we at Newberry College have done a really good job of bringing more female programs. In the last couple of years, we've added women's triathlon, women's wrestling, women's acro and tumbling, and I think before that it was track and field. That was before I got here, but I think it's just amazing to give those student athletes another opportunity, especially with women's wrestling. I think it's such an empowering sport, and not a lot of teams have it, not a lot of schools have it. So I think it's very cool to give that opportunity to other student athletes, specifically female student athletes.
No, truly. No, I
Mm.
truly get that. What advice would you have to any students, from your vantage point, from the position that you hold, but also having been in that position, also been a student athlete? What advice would you give?
Advice, I would say, from a sports perspective, excuse me, is really just ask questions, kind of understand what you're doing. I think a lot of the times student athletes just kind of go through the motions, or like this is what my coach says to do, but they don't really understand why they're doing that sort of thing. So I would say from student athletes, make sure you're asking questions and understanding what you want to do, or what you want to do within your sport. And then outside of sports, I would definitely say getting other experience. So getting those internships, getting those jobs, you might think this job doesn't really mean anything, but you're learning skills. Whether you're serving tables or doing an internship with us, like it's very important to gain those outside skills other than sports.
I can tell that you really love what you do. You love your job and you have a lot of passion for that. One, thank you for that. Two, thank you for taking time out of your day, coming and joining us on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Wolves Weekly will return in just a moment.
Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
My dad was a farmer. The guy was bigger than life. He wasn't someone that liked to show his emotion or liked to show when he was struggling, but we all struggle. I want to show emotion to my kids. It's something that brings me so much joy, and I want them to see me working through things. Allow your kids to know that it's okay to struggle, that even dad doesn't know the answer sometimes, but we're gonna figure it out together.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
As Wolves Weekly gives you a look into what it's like to live in this town we call home, producer Cornelia Witkowska recently visited the Newberry Museum to take a look at a special exhibit for the holidays. Here is her report.
The Newberry Museum is proud to present its newest exhibit, Festival of Trees, which showcases an aspect of Newberry County history. Incorporating both commercial and handmade ornaments, each tree is designed to create a festive visual narrative telling story of service and historical significance.
Our newest exhibit, the Festival of Trees, is trying to tell the story of celebrating the museum's 5th anniversary by telling the story of the Taylor Building, which we're in now, and also kind of having thematic trees telling the story of Newberry County. And so we have 12 different trees dedicated to different aspects of Newberry County history. So there's 3 trees dedicated to the museum. This building started life as the post office, then became the county library, and then became the museum. So there's a tree dedicated to each part of that story. And then we have a tree to Newberry College, we have trees to the textile industry here, trees to first responders, trees to the Forest Service. So really trying to tell the story of Newberry County through Christmas trees and Christmas themed events.
The Festival of Trees has certainly been a different type of exhibit for us, and there have been many elves that we need to thank for helping to not only make individual ornaments, but to put them up. And as a matter of fact, we had 11 nursing students come from the college and 5 basketball players who helped move things in, and the nursing students were terrific in climbing ladders and helping decorate. So thank you very much to the college for that.
I think my favorite tree is the post office tree, and for several reasons. It's the original use of this building. The topper for the tree is made of peacock feathers, which is in honor of one of the first postal horses here, whose name was Peacock. So I just really like that, just because it's a nifty thing, and also because the ornaments on the tree are made of copies of postcards from the museum collection. So it's showing tons of buildings from Newberry County's history, and also the work that went into them. A group of volunteers made copies of each postcard individually and then made fringe by hand for each thing. So every ornament on that tree is handmade. So I really love that tree.
It would be hard to say which is my favorite. The one that impresses me is the first responders. And as in making the ornaments for that tree and finding them, coming up with patches from around the county with different organizations, we realized, having just come through the hurricane, that maybe the best topper for that tree would be a utility pole with the utility service, a lineman climbing the pole, just to pay tribute to them, because all of these trees are literally a tribute to something historically significant, and also to say thank you.
The Newberry Museum is located at 1300 Friends Street at Newberry, South Carolina. The exhibit started on November 22nd and will close on January 11th. For NCTV, Kornelia Rutkowska.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without a high school diploma. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers.
Your achievement has set an example for so many students. Most importantly, your daughter.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free adult education centers near you.
Adding your own flavor to fashion comes with age.
Okay, Dad, look at you.
Forgetting how to add doesn't. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's. Some things come with age, some others don't.
NCTV, Newberry.
Welcome back to Wolves Weekly. I'm Al Delachica, along with Paul Fisher once again. Now let's get to that scoreboard and get you caught up with all the action that took place over the past week. In men's basketball, the Wolves try to shake off the effects of their first loss with a road game in Greenville, Tennessee to play the Tusculum Pioneers last Tuesday. And although the Wolves stretched out to an 8-point lead throughout the first half, they could not close out the Pioneers in the second. And Tusculum comes away with the hard-won victory in a squeaker, 57-55. The loss drops the Wolves to 0-2 in the conference to begin the season.
And then the team left Newberry to begin a 4,300-mile trek to Anchorage, Alaska to play 2 games against the University of Alaska Seawolves. In the first game on Friday, the Wolves led by 1 point at the half and then took control in the second half, getting the win 62-55. Drake Downs scored a season-high 19 points, while Newberry shot over 52% from the floor in both halves. On Saturday, the second game began between the two, but it came down to a buzzer beater, with the Seawolves hitting a 3-point shot just under a second remaining to clinch the win 74-73. The Wolves are 3-3 on the season, will travel to Mars Hill this week before returning to Eliezer Arena to host Wingate on Saturday.
And in women's basketball, in a hard-fought matchup last Tuesday against the Tusculum Pioneers, both teams battled back and forth in the first half, but Tusculum proved too strong down the stretch as Newberry came up short in the end, falling 74-66. Then this past Saturday at home, Newberry hosted the Emory and Henry Wasps. The Wolves turned things around, led by Jess Tompkins' 18 points from the floor, and the Wolves outscored the Wasps by 8 in the second half to take the win 60-53. The win evens up their conference record at 2-2, while overall the team sits at 3-5. The Wolves return to action this Wednesday against Mars Hill and will host Wingate at home this Saturday.
And in men's wrestling, John Parker won all 3 of his matches at the Carolina Clash Duels in Greenwood on Sunday. Parker, who is ranked 10th nationally at the 197-pound class, registered a pair of falls and majors decisions in the 3 matches. Dayton Field, a 174-pound weight class, and Andrew Reed, 184 pounds, both posted 2-1 records. The Wolves posted a 1-2 record overall, defeating Salem and losing to 6th-ranked Glenville State and Ashland of Ohio. They traveled to Indianapolis for the Midwest Classic on December 14th and 15th.
And this week's Newberry College Army National Guard Players of the Week are senior forward Jess Tompkins and sophomore wrestler Dennis Varelli. Tompkins, who is from Melbourne, Australia, scored 37 points, grabbed 19 rebounds, blocked 7 shots, and had 3 assists in 2 games last month. She made 17 of 28 shots from the floor for 61% and made 3 of 4 free throws. Tompkins scored 21 points, had 12 rebounds for her second double-double of the season, and blocked 5 shots in the win over Lenore Rhine. Varelli of West Berlin, New Jersey, had an outstanding run at the King Open on November 17th, taking first place at 157 pounds. He won his first match by technical fall 20-4, his second match by major decision 15-7, and his third by fall. He advanced to the finals with a 5-3 decision over Joe Bertrand of King in the semifinals and won the title with a 4-2 decision over Derek Bannister of Cumberlands.
And don't forget, you can keep up with all of the Newberry Wolves teams by visiting newberrywolves.com. There you can find the latest scores, get statistics and analysis of the latest games. You can see schedules and team rosters. You can get all kinds of other information on your favorite teams. You can even find out how to get official tickets and official merchandise. All of this is available for you anywhere, anytime at newberrywolves.com. Wolves Weekly will be back in just a moment.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Jason, let's go see your room.
How was it? Is it good?
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
It's something about having that piece of paper. Some people think that's worth more than my skills.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
You just gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Analytics and empathy. That's how I've gained clients.
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Thanks for hearing me out, bro.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to this special section of Wolves Weekly as we wrap up this semester. We thought we would bring you another kind of a live segment here, interviewing the people who really make the magic happen. We would not be able to bring you this show without the excellent work of our student leaders behind Wolves Weekly, and we have a few of them here with us on set today. And the first one we'd like to introduce you to, and I know you've already seen him, Johnny Felder. We've had a report on you about you call games. You do a lot behind the scenes. You've been on the desk over here with me as well, Johnny. And what got you into all of this, man? What brought you to Newberry College? And, you know, what do you see maybe as your future as to how this can help you?
Hey, how you doing? So what really brought me to Newberry College was a track scholarship, actually. I was ranked top in the state for 400 and 800. And just being able to come in and just pretty much meeting new faces, trying new things was really what brought me to Newberry. And then as of me wanting to do this, it was all sports just because I get inspiration like from Pat McAfee, ESPN and stuff like that. And just seeing everybody on podcasts is doing their thing was really a factor for me, especially being on Wolves Weekly, and I really liked it.
Fantastic, and I know we also build some of these assignments into the classroom as well. And so for students who are interested, wanting to come and do something like this, it's not only extracurricular work, it's also curricular work. We do podcasts, we do all kinds of things like that. And if you are interested in sports, you can have at that as well. It's not just sports, but you can kind of live that dream out, if you will. Now, Sullivan Hooper is our next student here. Now, Sullivan, you transferred in after getting an associate's degree, I believe, in another school. And you'd said that you had no interest in doing this at all. We'd like to hear a little bit more about that. I mean, does a student or somebody coming in have to like sports in order to do this?
I mean, speaking for myself, I'm a big sports fan, but I remember meeting you a couple years ago, having really no idea what I was going to do, and you recommended the sports communications program. It was perfect for me. I know there's people in this program that don't love sports as much as I do, but they're doing just fine. They're enjoying it. They're finding the right places. But yeah, kind of like Johnny, big sports fan. I got inspiration from guys like Jim Nance. So I've gotten the opportunity to do stuff like play-by-play. I've been on the desk with you. I've even done things that have been uncomfortable, like in the studio, doing audio and teleprompter stuff that I wasn't comfortable with, but I've learned to like those things as well, and it's been a great experience for me, and I've really learned a lot.
All right, and we know we can obviously tell that, again, this show wouldn't look like it does, and we couldn't put it together so easily, really, without students really applying themselves and giving them that opportunity. And that's what we want to do here at Newberry College, especially with sports communications and the whole communications program. Caleb, I know this is Caleb Barr. We've interviewed you before on set. I know you were here too. You had no idea you were going to be doing this either. And so just kind of remind everybody a little bit what kind of got you into communications specifically and working with Wolves Weekly.
So when I first came to Newberry College, I originally was a nursing major, actually. I was a CNA, and I decided it really wasn't for me anymore, so I was looking for a different avenue. And funnily enough, the way I got communications was just scrolling through the majors list, and that one just kind of caught my eye, so I did a little more research and saw that people were doing stuff at studios and going out on TV. things of that nature, and it really interested me. So I decided to pick it and go with it for now, and I just kind of fell in love with it. I love sharing people's stories. I'm an esports player, so I've been out there, been interviewed by actual reporters. I've been on TV before. It's amazing being on the receiving end, so I want to give that experience to other people. And I've come in here, again, with no experience, no interest in sports, but now I've been falling in love with football. I watch NFL every Sunday night now. I absolutely love it. So people can fall in love with this stuff really easily, and it's amazing, and I just absolutely love it.
Yeah, and I think, thank you, Caleb, for that. And I think, part of it is, especially with sports, I mean, again, it doesn't have to be sports. You come to the communications program, you don't have to devote yourself to sports. And we have several students who work behind the scenes and so forth and don't want to do it or don't want to, get into real heavy sports kind of stuff like that. And you can absolutely follow your dream here, whatever type of communications you want. But the fact of the matter is, getting this experience is so important. I mean, isn't that what college is all about, right? Giving you that opportunity and then being able to do something worthwhile. And this really kind of moves the line in the sand, so to speak. Now we have an actual product. We have content that is out there for you all, the fans, to enjoy and kind of tuning in here, whether it's on Flow Sports or YouTube, and coming in and following the Newberry Wolves first and foremost. And then you can take that out into the real world when you graduate. And, as an instructor, as a professor here, we always say our greatest reward is seeing you all have success out there. I mean, you don't know how that makes us feel. And so that is awesome to get to see students like this, putting it into practice right here when they're still in college. And so you can do that too. Get in touch with us here at Newberry College, the communications program. And that's all for this edition of Wolves Weekly. We'll keep it going throughout the spring break and into spring and over the winter break. And we'll have all the sports action for you here on Wolves Weekly. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Keep up to date on the latest in Newberry College athletics with Wolves Weekly, available on Flow Sports and produced by NCTV Newberry.